As mushrooms of dictators start rising up globally to hinder the peace, democracy, justice, and our freedom once again. Let us stand together as global citizens in unity and solidarity to protect and secure our democracy. Raise up your voices to keep our freedom sealed and safe before it's too late. Don't think it won't happen to you. Nobody knows well about a specific situation and understand than those who traverse the same path and personally experience it. We Ethiopians have been there. After throwing a dictator, communist regime, and experience a democracy, we enter into another dictatorship for the last 2.5 years. Knowing where we are and where the world is heading is very important. Thomas Friedman well said in his book, "The world is flat. The changing shift in the 21st century we are in, along with that change, development in science and technology, in this information age, boom. With the tip of our fingers within a second, regardless of distance and country borders, we get millions of bulk information with less cost and no need to sweat at all. Indeed, the world has changed and become flat within our naked eyes as a result of the advancement of technology and the easy access to information. Whether we use that information for the betterment of our life and the lives of others in this planet called the world, which is becoming small and small as the level flattens with new connectivity and networking, or we use the information for distraction to hurt others in our planet. Thus, the impact is contagious and borderless. That's why when we use information for distraction instead of creation, the damage is massive and fast because it's scored virtually in the changing flatten of our world, which is not easy to control. Doing the distraction using ground logistics and physical action has become the last resort because it's more costly for military logistics and weapons investment, and it takes more time. We tend to do the physical for distraction for the part that hasn't been achieved virtually. However, since it has been already weakened and cracked when applied virtually method, the unfinished part doesn't have the immune system to resist for long than to give up and collapse. That's what's happening in Ethiopia for the past 2.5 years. To this extent, our virtual world holds a huge potential with minimum time and minimum effort to create a catastrophic damage. Those people, minimum time, they're very fast. With minimum effort and cost, they are creating a havoc, catastrophic, and historical damage, both to human lives and to the existed history. Never ever forget that. Thus, we need strongly to pay attention for what's going on in our virtual world, how the stages are set, with the patterns and consistency for all the false and unreliable information that we need to consume it with a grain of salt. Since it's invisible, borderless, and almost everybody has that power of authority to deliver a distorted information nowadays. Therefore, since our virtual platform has a trust issue of credentiality, depends how you perceive and entertain it, it became a powerful tool That's a break or make. So when we adapt our new world of connectivity for better or worse, we need to adapt also that the virtual world is a reflection of us, we human beings. That we say things anonymously that we wouldn't have said it if it was face to face. But when we knew we can get away with lies, cheating, give distorted information, the more we keep on to carry those habits in those black holes for people to make them good, feels good, become like an addiction. People are doing it for more and more and become more destructive to ourselves and others. Since the police eye in our virtual world hasn't become smart yet, cuffed us or to save us from our destructiveness and to minimize the damage and pain we inflicted toward others, regardless of the destruction and the damage being at a manageable scale or not. Having said that, the reality we're in the 21st century, let me share this to you, the things that I pay attention to and observe. To say boldly, indeed, what's happening in Ethiopia for the last 3 years has a similar symptom to what's hovering over US democracy right now. Unless the people of America has the upper hand to say, in my yard, in my own turf, I am the big dog, and diffuse it. Everything has its own beginning. What makes it similar to a situation versus Ethiopia is because it has the same patterns and symptoms for the diagnosis, regardless of the motives behind for the patterns and symptoms to exist. And it shares a commonality that both cases has a direct correlation with the President Donald Trump being the 45th President of the United States. I'll just give you a highlight of benchmarks and area of concerns that I have and needs to be focused on, not to miss anything with the blink of your eyes. I want for everybody to understand and take this information, though, that this is my own personal perspective that I rely on, that relies on fact-based, well-researched and investigated by using resources that are available to the public through different ways of publishing in the media, and for my country Ethiopia case by being on the spot physically on different occasions, in addition to the online resources that I access and evaluate for my findings. Seeing, watching, and observing how the patterns unfold in my own country, Ethiopia, that hinders our peace, democracy, justice, and freedom by those who are illegal to begin with, directly interfering in our country's political affairs, has to come to surface and start visibly showing up now towards the nation of the United States of America. They are implementing it here. It has been there subtly, plotting the seeds here and there for the past 2-3 years. Before I begin our journey in guiding you to your expedition to reach the destination management pillar of truth, I'm pointing it out the painful obvious fact. Number one, there's a phrase that says, a fool never learns from their own mistakes, and a wise person learns from the mistake of others. Number two, be assured that Donald Trump is just one person. He's just a symptom. That there are millions of both insiders and outsiders Donald Trumps. So he is not alone. These people work behind the scenes to crack down the power and establish an authoritarian dictator, Donald Trump, for their own advantage, to advance their own vision, which is a dark vision. So they want to put Donald Trump on the throne as a dictator leader. The question remains to be asked, why? Why a dictator is needed to replace a democratic structure? Well, the answer is they need the power and influence and the influence America has. So they need Donald Trump to accomplish their dark and cunning vision that they are implementing globally. Never forget that. To all my fellow citizens of Ethiopia, people in America, the continent of Africa, people in Europe, Middle East, and the entire global citizens who are affected directly and indirectly in this ordeal. Let me tell you the chronicles wherein how things have started, what has happened in the process, and where we are right now in regards to the situation that escalates to threaten the peace and stability in the world as we are shaken through chaos and war here and there. Since different countries, democracy and freedom has been at stake with external intruders, lawlessness and illegalities that Donald Trump support the cause. To those who do not have the slightest clue what's happening in Ethiopia for the last consecutive 3 years, to those clearly didn't understand what exactly caused the problem in Ethiopia yet, this is the indispensable information that you need to have, as we are all global citizens, in it together to fight for our democracy and freedom to prevail, so that it sustains our planet to stay balanced with a better future. The purpose of my sharing is to inform and equip others. And I can assure you that all the knowledge that you acquire to this date, from way back during your infancy and where you are right now, all the knowledge, skill, and experiences of all kinds are much needed in full dose to overcome the common ordeal we are facing globally. Lack of knowledge, not lack of historical knowledge. It could be ancient knowledge from the Bible and global world history knowledge. Lack of integration, lack of exposure, lack of knowledge of any kind, education, ego, hatred. Those are the things that they use to defeat nations globally. So your knowledge is much needed in full dose, and we mean it. And I'm a person who strongly believes that knowledge is a solution to all kinds of problems we are being challenged with at the moment. When they taught us programming language in college, they told us a very profound yet simple truth, which of course gives that same effect in any discipline. And it says, knowing the problem is half a solution. It is true. If we identify the problem, it's easy to provide the solution. It's easy to say it. But when it comes to real life, if we miss this basic, clear and simple step, that to diagnose what is the problem, to find the problem, will bring lots of irreversible damage. That's what's happening in my country, Ethiopia, because people don't understand the real problem in my country for the chaos, for the imprisonment, displacement, massacre, and now we are engaging in a war. So if we miss what the exact problem is, the whole thing will be in the US also the same thing's gonna happen. So knowing the problem is half solution is indeed true. Let us dig further what I mean by that. 4 years this time around, it was a big feast and celebration for the two Middle East countries, UAE and Saudi Arabia, as there is a conspiracy that those two countries, Egypt, Israel, Russia, and Bahrain, helped behind the scenes for Donald Trump to win 2016 election. So the celebration was the election has been won the way they wanted it for the person they had supported. President Donald Trump has won. For Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi, this opportunity was taken as a one that comes once in their lifetime. And they seized it immediately. They had a vision as they were waiting during the election process. Once the green light for Donald Trump was set on, they rushed to implement their vision. And those are the two de facto leaders, Mohammed bin Zayed, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, and Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, who in coalition killed tens of thousands of civilians in Yemen as they were interfering in the Yemen war for 5 years. Now they don't want Arab Spring to rise up. If it does, they are the only royal Islamic monarch existed, and the Spring threatens their existence and their power. So they want to keep it at a bay, even if they have to massacre civilians. They are that selfish. For the next 4 years, right after President Donald Trump's inauguration, they have a well-planned, crafty vision that Donald Trump is incompetent, leadership-wise, and he has no clue how to manage geopolitics. He doesn't come from military, he doesn't come from law school, he's a business person who cares about how to make money. They want to manipulate and use him. By then, they already have realized he's a man who doesn't care about human rights. So perfect time for them to make him a friend and to make him one of them in order to get what they want from him. They are smart, cunning. They use your brain and maneuver him in their cunning and vicious way. The vision is to take over East Africa under colonialism. Ethiopia being their gateway to exploit this country's natural and untapped natural resources and natural resources for them to have economical revenue other than their fluctuating oil that makes them rich and to make them rich and prosper for centuries to come. At the same time, as they enlarge their borders from the Persian Gulf to East Africa to become powerful in the region and to expand Islam by destroying Christianity. This is their clear and yet illegal dark vision that proves their greediness for money, for more money, and their hunger for power. Therefore, from January 2020, 2017 to this date, they are busy to fulfill their dream. Benchmark highlights that could help you to identify and define the problem clearly so that you can connect the dots that takes you to the solution, which is the truth, the ultimate truth in this ordeal. Why our world has changed and been affected. Whether you go to Ethiopia, Palestine, Europe, even within the US. Why? Since January 2017, since President Donald Trump came to power, why the world is enduring a lot of challenging situations. Why the peace is lost. Why democracies in different countries is being shaken. Why a lot of people are thrown to imprisonment. and massacres. All for you to put the two into together to connect the dots and to see the reality. Just remember, in everyone's strengths, there's a crack of weakness. Donald Trump, with his incompetent leadership and not being as crafty as those people, they see his weakness that he doesn't want to lose. He's a person who wants to stay relevant, to stay as a celebrity, to have his support from his people, and who needs success. They see that crack of weakness. So President Donald Trump, is that crack of weakness against all strong American people, for those cunning to Middle East countries to penetrate and enter by manipulating President Donald Trump, which in my understanding, he is a victim also in this process. What they do is they use people and they throw them at a disposable when the right time comes and victimize them. So to give you the highlight of benchmarks, let us start in what happened in February 14, 2017. Mohammed bin Zayed went to Somaliland and make a deal to renovate and expand the Berbera airport in Somaliland with over $4 million and to use it for 30 years. What was the benefit for the Somalilands? What he offered? Just Abu Dhabi to train Somaliland's soldiers, to give them that port, which also has an airport, for the Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed to expand that airport as a military base where he can have a strategical place to see the ships that come from those choke points of the Suez Canal passing through the Red Sea and also on the Gulf Sea, on the edge of the Gulf Sea. He, after less than 1 month, he take action that President Donald Trump being elected, after 1 month, he went with a mission, with action. Because it's time bounded. President Donald Trump only can stay for 4 years unless he will be re-elected and have another term. So those people start to execute their vision quickly. So for the Somaliland, who has been independent from Somalia since 1991, but never have any recognition, international recognition, he sees also their weakness. He offers them to take their land, which is also a seaport, to use it for 30 years without them being beneficiary, except he will train their soldiers. And at the same time, in the process, eventually, when the port is built, when the economical status, they might benefit from that. So there is also illegality to go to other countries' sovereignty to take that and abuse that, which eventually failed in 2018. But that was the motives. They go and take control of everything that they want to, because he is planning to take over East Africa. Because Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi Crown Prince, they have wealth, they have money, they have $3 trillion wealth. They use that money to advance their vision, their dark vision, by creating chaos in the world. So their means of the resource that they have money has helped them to create even the powerful nation, the powerful country worldwide. Even America is not immune from their dark vision to be used. So the 4 million is their own investment to expand. It's not for the Somaliland country to use. So that was the deal. Next to that, March 14, 2017, Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, visited President Donald Trump at the White House. May 15, 2017, Mohammed bin Zayed meets Donald Trump at the White House. Prior to 5 days, on May 2027, President Donald Trump visited Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, for his very first international travel since MBZ, Mohammed bin Zayed, and MBS, Mohammed bin Salman, those two Abu Dhabi and Saudi Arabia Crown Prince, has managed to manipulate the president advisor Jared Kushner ahead of time, who is the father, the son-in-law of Donald Trump, who is immature, incompetent leader-wise. So Kushner have had arranged the first ever international trip by US president to be Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. May 20, 2017. This is a day American politics maneuvered and changed to that of the preference of Mohammed bin Zayed and Mohammed bin Salman. The day Donald Trump hooked with the bad guys and trapped. This is the crack of US democracy begins, and over the course of 3.5 years, eroded bit by bit. But it's sad. Not only US democracy, but the democracy of our planet in several countries started cracking as well, because of the powerful US influence gave away US's power and the power of other countries' power to those two Middle East countries. Since Donald Trump and Jared Kushner illegally arranged to accommodate and cater US foreign policy with other countries, to literally serve Saudi Arabia and UAE. As a result of that, Donald Trump and Kushner jeopardized other countries' democracy, peace and stability, freedom and justice, and allowed for millions of civilians to be displaced and hundreds of thousands of civilians to be killed on their own country and victimized by mercenaries appointed and working for MBZ and MBS because of Donald Trump and Jared Kushner's betrayal of trust. For such country like Ethiopia, a betrayal of trust from the US government. Those two US high officials abusing their power, plotting harm to our nation's national interest, destroying our local political structure by destroying our democracy. As a result of that, Donald Trump and Kushner are indirectly responsible for the deaths of many civilians in Ethiopia, which the world ignores civilian rights. We need justice. We need help. We need protection. We need justice now. The vision of conspiracy Mohammed bin Zayed came up with is this: that he would take over Ethiopia under colonialism, then to expand to the remaining East African countries by using Donald Trump's power to influence and oppress our political structural system in the name of US foreign policy in Ethiopia, which lacks transparency of the US President Trump, since he granted the cunning motive of the Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed, who partnered to execute his dark vision in Ethiopia with his criminal body Mohammed bin Salman, who both already have killed tens of thousands of civilians in Yemen for the last 5 years. Or the bigger Lego? Teams who are destroying Ethiopia and Ethiopians for the last 3 years meet together for the first time in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on May 21, 2017. Who were present in that meeting that day? Number one, Donald Trump, US President. Number two, Jared Kushner, advisor to Donald Trump. Number three, Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Saudi King. Number four, Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, Saudi Crown Prince. Number five, Mohammed bin Zayed, MBZ, Abu Dhabi's Crown Prince. Number six, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Egypt President. All those countries, all those 5 countries, Saudi Arabia, or just 4 countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Egypt, were among those who support behind the scenes for President Donald Trump to win the 2016 election. It's because of this conspiracy and favoritism that the US democracy starts suffering after President Donald Trump came to power, because of those 2 Middle East country leaders' influence, direct influence, interfering in the US politics as well, as they are doing in Ethiopia. So May 21, 2017 changed the world politics. Somehow, this is the day the conspiracy group laid their foundation, hoping all those Arab countries, hoping all those two Arab countries to seal, hoping all those 2 Middle East Arab countries and Egypt to seal their deal of conspiracy. Then followed by a very crucial moment. Those members of the conspiracy groups who has gathered together at a more convenient common place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, which MBS and MBZ visiting Donald Trump ahead of time at the White House together with Jared Kushner knew what this meeting is all about for partnership. The meeting in May 21, 2017. Why they are attracted to be in Riyadh, as they managed to have had arranged it that way for President Donald Trump to make his presence in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So that for each individual conspiracy team member to have a feel of getting what they wanted to have from President Donald Trump before he leaves office if he loses 2020 election.